Hello guys, Bibarol here. Today I have an update to the Druid build for ranked. I did a video about Soul Beast and Druid builds for mini season ranked 2v2. But for 5v5 I think it's not good enough. And I think in a lot of situation it's an overkill in the side and a weak can't deliver that much in another side. Probably the unexperienced or less experienced I have in PvP participate in that. So this new build I have today is gonna be much better, like a final version that would work in most situations. There's gonna be a timestamp in the video if you want the fast build or everything, or why they change it, what's wrong with the other build, or when you use it, when you use this build, everything. You can watch the whole video, or if you want specific details you can use the timestamp. Okay, so let's begin with it. The build I'm on is actually the old build, and it had what I can say multiple problems with. It was full condition cleanse, like so hard on condition cleanse, and that's because when you fight in a combo of 2v2, there was like the 2 condition thieves, the 2 condition necros, the 2 condition revenant, or 2 condition different players like burning guard and stuff like this. And I need not only to support myself, I needed to help my allies too, or my ally, sorry, because some of them could be so bursty, but the condition player can have a lot of sustain. So, and since I'm playing condition and mostly projectile, that could lead to a fight when I have a time of fighting against projectile barrier and stuff, like a stalemate, and my ally completely burned his cooldown with no good coming out of it, and now he's stuck. And this is why I was taking this, especially the healing spring, not only so I can remove a lot of condition to myself and use it to fill 60 avatar through regeneration, but also to help my allies. But this led to a problem, especially in 5v5. My health is extremely low. I have a lot of toughness, but my health is low. That means no matter what, I can be downed easy. Especially from, I can protect myself against conditions stupidly, but power is a problem. Healing itself is low. I don't care how much regeneration, you don't have healing power. And if you have poison while triggering this skill, that's a horrible problem. It will heal you for like 3k and some, and all this is empty. 60 avatar will fill extremely slow, and without 60 avatar completely, and even the healing from staff is much weaker, or like extremely weak in general, I can be put down easy through high power build, like a second soul beast, a full damage core ranger, or warriors, full circle revenant, stuff like this, one shot builds from thieves. Like if I missed something around me, that was a problem. Mostly rangers, actually I would say rangers and elementalists like DD and stuff was the hardest opponent to fight. So that's why I changed this build to, I completely let go of the rapid amulet to take sage amulet, and sadly I would let go of the Krait rune to get Doliac rune, which you're gonna think a weird decision. Why? Doliac rune with the healing power of Sage Amulet, 500 healing power, would heal us every second for 55 points. Okay, so that's gonna help fill the 60 avatar extremely fast, and we have high healing power already. That means our staff healing faster, healing a lot more actually, and even our celestial avatar skills and our heal skills. Okay, even the regeneration from staff, all that. And I use Troll Unguent, the highest healing, the most valuable skill in healing. I run the rest of the skills, as you see, full survival. I changed the trait of Trapper Expertise to Primal Reflexes, and this is how the build goes now. I still use Raggazal and Electric Wyvern. I always run the double CC on bits. It's extremely useful. So, for the fast build, for the people who want it from timestamp, I'm using Sage Amulet Doliac Rune, Staff, Short Bow, Sigil of Agony on both weapons, Sigil of Escape on Staff, and Sigil of Purging on Short Bow, but you could run Cleansing or any other aggressive sigil. I would not recommend a defensive sigil like Energy. It looks useful, but you want to fight on Short Bow, not kite. So I would run Purging or Cleansing mostly. The traits themselves are Skirmishing, Wind Survival, Druid. For skirmishing, we run Primal Reflexes. Since we don't have traps, we can't use this. And our damage is kinda low since we use Sage with Doliac. So it's a defensive rune that will not give us any damage. And we have only 1000 condition damage. So the Vigor would give us better survivability, more dodges, since now we have two Vigor sources, Lightning Reflexes and Primal Reflexes. On Evade, we get 4 seconds of Vigor on 8-second cooldown. We also use Hidden Barbs, since it gives us high bleed damage for 33%, which awesome. Of course, without it, we almost have no damage at all at this point. And we run Light on Your Feet. Of course, that would support our short bow skills and make it burst, so it would go through multiple targets, or like a bit of Ranger, clones for Mesmer, anything. It will simply not be stuck for the first target hits. You can't run short bow without this trait, sadly. So none of these traits are optional. You have to take them. You have to take Skirmishing, and you have to take those traits specifically. And Skirmishing also helps us with getting a swiftness for 9 seconds every 9 seconds on weapon swap. That means when you weapon swap, you get it, and when you weapon swap again, you get it. Simple. And we don't have movement speed of any source but swiftness. So that trait helps, since we have now 2 sources of swiftness. Trailwind and the skill 3 of Short Bow. 9 seconds swiftness every 9 seconds and a half if you use it off cooldown. And mostly you will, but use it wisely if you need a dodge, so don't really use it off cooldown, of course. The second thing is, or the second specialization trait is Wilderness Survival. We run Lesser Muddy Terrain, but you can actually go for Taste for Danger if you want the extra damage from Expertise. 4% of your vitality are expertise, and higher vitality, actually 1k and 200, since it for health, since it's 120. But if you feel confident not using the condition removal and immobilize, cripple, slow, on demand, use it. Or if you're fighting completely bar combs, you can use it. But I never really run it. I find this to be more effective, and I have high health as it is. And 4% for condition duration, I mean, it is something since we have low damage, but it's not that much. So do your thing. But the second thing is this one. I can never say what it's called. 120 condition damage is more than 10% of what we have on this build. That's a lot. This trait is out of the question, 5-minute cooldown, and this one is no value because it's only 400 poison, and if we run it, like we remove the condition damage, it's even less, 300, and it's completely worthless. And you have poison from this one. You can even, like we said, this sigil is optional, so you could run Venom, which gonna bump this one to 5 seconds if not flanking, and 10 seconds if flanking. It's gonna be much higher damage, you see. So this sigil is optional, so you can run even any aggressive thing if you want. You could run even Doom, like it's up to you. But let's put the version back. That's why you shouldn't change this one. And of course, survival skills, we run full survival. This trait is competitive, locked. There's no other options. You have to take it. So for Druid, we run 1-1-3. The thing you can change here is natural stride probably, but the stealth is so valuable, and the super speed too. This would give you higher movement speed, make you move so fast, even can't be catched really. Chill can really hurt you. Like a lot of Revenant with Necros and stuff running too much chill, so it will make it extremely lower cooldown, so you don't need to waste skills to remove it. But I value the stealth and super speed more, so it's up to you. But of course we count on this skill to do damage, and the condition removal from Druid Alacrity is unmatched. So this is the traits. Feel free to change what I think you can change, but word of advice, don't change anything else. I tried like World vs World running the Glyph of Equality. In World vs World I run it mainly except when I'm fighting a large group or like Zerg. I would run Quickening Zephyr. These are the only trait skills I would change in this build in World vs World. But in PvP I would not run the Glyph Equality. A lot of CC spam, like people running too much CC, or double comb you, like you get +1 with a warrior and a holosmith, stuff like this, with a lot of days, knockdown, like keeping after each other. Their both are stun breaks, and this one even stun other people. But when people help each other, there will be a lot of stability. Spam dodges, even like people would not be hit by it because they casually dodged, they didn't even mean for it to happen. And now this skill is useless. It only stun breaked you and didn't do anything. When you're immobilized and being cleaved, now you're not knocked down, but you're still immobilized. But this skill, only 2 seconds longer cooldown, but give you quickness and will remove 2 conditions from you and give you super speed for 4 seconds. It can make you kite. So it really makes the difference between winning and losing a lot of the time. You need this much condition cleansing, and it's not about the condition cleanse itself. I mean, it's not the real value from this skill, it's the ability to escape. Like if you're running something like Saint of Stone, you would be able to take a lot of damage, no problem. So it's not a big deal, you would even fight back. But we need at least 2 stun breaks. That's why we can't run something like this. So I would say take Quickening Zephyr. Protect Me, I find it to be an extremely useless skill now. I know a lot of people think it's actually strong, but when you play something, a condition build, I mean, it could be strong in power builds, but in a condition build, the fight will be long. You're not gonna take a single hit and kill with like 2 hits, stuff like this when people run Sikkim and or like a core ranger builds or no. So Sikkim for a condition build is extremely useless. The barrier will be gone in an auto attack, and the protection will heal you a little, and I mean take less bit damage, but what, like people can auto attack you for like 3 or 4k sometimes. So that's the barrier gone, and you will take an extra 1 shot or something. Like if a ranger give you rapid fire, he would have like to attack you to other 2 attacks after it. It's pointless, it's non-value. So run Quickening Zephyr and you'll be great. So in how to play this build or what role it fits, this build can function in probably any mode. Like if 5v5 or even 2v2, it have a lot of condition cleanse. And I used it in 2v2 actually. I played a little after my last video and still function greatly. It really can replace the old one, it's not a big deal. And it fits the role of a 1v1 or like kind of a bruiser a bit. You can hold, I don't think you can hold a node, it's a weird build, that's why it's not meta. You can fight any 1v1, okay, like probably you can even win any 1v1, except you would struggle against probably Tempest or Elise in general, not Fire Weavers or stuff like this. You would probably kill them, but Tempest, the aura spam, the high CC stuff, probably you can still kill it, but it's gonna be hard. but any other class you could probably kill it. So it's a great 1v1 depending on your level of skill, and it could fit a role of a little bit of a roamer. You could decap and capture points fast, moving through your swiftness gain and even super speed and staff. You can even disengage a little bit easy. It's not a problem if you got +1 on a node or something and you have access to stealth when leaving Sissy avatar, and you can +1 your allies greatly in that. Actually, you can even isolate targets when your ally like 1v2 or something. You can immobilize, stun and immobilize, triggering ancient seed. You can immobilize with entangle. You can support them with your staff, with a projectile barrier, with healing skills. You can use Celestia avatar to heal them or even remove conditions, and that make it great in this position. And you have access to a lot of CC from your Celestia avatar, concussion shot, 2 skills on Ragazal and 2 skills on the other bit, electric wyvern. So the problem with that build, that was the advantage. The problem with it, it's mainly projectile damage. Use your short bow. You have access to entangle or even attack on Celestia avatar natural conversion, but it's mainly projectile. Your staff would do a little bit of damage. I mean, let me show you here, but it's extremely low damage. It's not that valuable. You can actually make it more through using the other skills that's not projectile, like using Quickening Zephyr with Sharpened Stone combo to trigger a lot of bleed fast. Your bed doesn't have projectiles, you would fight in melee, but the aura spam from Tempest in fights or even the support Firebrand can give you extremely hard time. In fights like this, I would rather move on to try to capture another point or decap and leave the fight to the other bros, the guys who equipped to a team fight. And that is a downside to this build, sadly. Now, how to fight with this build? Always start on Ragazal, short bow, and use Sharpened Stone almost off cooldown. We have it for 30 seconds on us and only 24-second cooldown. You see, I still have it and it's already off cooldown. I can use skill 2 to trigger 5 of it and auto attack to trigger the rest and immediately use it again. That's like putting 20 stacks of bleed in the matter of about 6 seconds. Like the other one gonna need to be on auto attack or something, but this skill come off 6 seconds, so it's about like 8 seconds and you can put 20 stacks of bleed. Besides, of course, your auto attack itself putting another stack, so it's like could 30 or be more. Like I'm gonna show you this. Okay, let's use it and not use it, and I'm gonna show you how much bleed I can put. The other thing is you can actually use your Sharpened Stone with Quickening Zephyr to trigger it even faster, especially if you're using your auto attack from staff. Auto attack from staff have 3 attacks in the chain. You see, and then now 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You can go up to 30 stacks of bleed. And if you use the auto attack of your staff, it's actually 3 attacks in a single attack. It doesn't have bleed on its own. But if you use Sharpened Stone with Quickening Zephyr, you can trigger it much faster if someone is not really paying attention or kiting like this. I wouldn't recommend using Quickening Zephyr aggressively most of the time. I mean, choose your time. Choose when people can't defend themselves. When it can literally mean the difference between winning or losing. That can happen like with Necromancers or when support Tempest, which I said they're kind of a bane to you. If they already use the reflecting auras and stuff, and you want to kill them so fast before they can do anything else, they have an immobilize they couldn't remove, and they have no other way to defend themselves, you immediately burst them like this. you put the highest burst you could possibly do. You could probably even, after like couple of ticks or whatever, put entangle on them before the quickness run out, so it would repeat itself fast. But that when you're sure, you could spam your CC from your minis, bits, and go to other bit, etc. So that's for how to use Sharpen Stone, Quickening Zephyr, or how to be aggressive with this combo. The other thing is, like I said, always start with Raggazal. The first thing Raggazal would do, let me get just out of combat. The first thing Raggazal would do is actually use this skill when the combat starts, running 900 range, dazing and harming everyone's base. So that will trigger Ancient Seed from your auto attacks when you attack someone that's been dazed. So Ancient Seed now on cooldown, it is 20 seconds. So you don't really need to do anything else, just keep auto attacking. You already used your Sharpen Stone. People will probably remove the condition, stuff like this. If they didn't remove your entangle, then you have time, if Raggazal attacks them again, to use Hit Toss. If someone not really dodging or blocking or anything, you can use this trick. When you attack them, so Raggazal would do it and immediately go to Hit Toss, so he doesn't complete the animation of the other skill of charge. He would run all the way and then go slowly walking toward your target again. You would stop this by immediately triggering Hit Toss, so you would double the CC immediately, making the person need to not only remove the condition, he need to stun break to even have a chance to remove the condition, or use a skill that do both. So that's the first trick. Second thing I would like to do a lot when I let's say triggered Ancient Seed on someone and used already CC of Raggazal, I would go to my other bit and immediately trigger Lightning Assault. Why? Because what's it called, this? The Electric Wyvern does not use its skill the same way Raggazal do. He doesn't trigger it that fast. He would walk, position itself, and then use Wing Buff. That would make most people get out of it since they're not already like stationed. If they're trying to cleave you or something, or they cleaving your ally, this would be good if you have time. But other than that, you need the fast CC, and this skill's fast. And it even would go, actually it doesn't say like headbutting foes, like it say it's multiple targets, but doesn't show how much target, but it actually do it to multiple targets. I'm not sure how much, I think like 3 targets, but that's why it's great. And even this skill is actually multiple targets too. So when, like I said, I could completely spam my CC, like use Raggazal. I need to get out of combat again. Okay, like I will use in the first of the combat, I would use Raggazal for it to trigger charge, and then I immediately goes Hit Toss if I know I can burst someone down, to cancel the animation, and immediately go to Electric Wyvern, use its skill Lightning Assault, and let go of the bit. Now he would attack and then use Wing Buff again. So that become 4 CC in a small chain, and I would probably even use Concussion Shot if I need to. I could go to Celestial Avatar and use my skill 3 and then go with Natural Conversion. Like CC spam, as we call it. And it worked greatly if someone doesn't have what it takes to like defend themselves against, that doesn't trigger block and remove your condition, stuff like this. No. So that's on how to fight mechanically with your bits, and how to use them perfectly, or why we even choose them for using this much CC skills. Another trick I would like to say is when you're fighting rangers, for example, this skill, this build, struggle a little bit against power creep. Like it's a normal thing with ranger. Power is generally much better since the last balance patch in the game, but it's still, with existence, something like Sikkim and stuff like this, rangers for example can do tremendous damage, like stupid damage, like rapid fire kill you kind of damage, one skill. So some of the tricks I use is actually I would go closer to the ranger who's using it. I mean, you could simply put a projectile barrier, but if you don't have it, if just you've been attacked and stuff like this and you're close to it, you would go through him so the skill would be cancelled, or you would stun him so he would stop casting. But I would like to do stuff like go through him and then use skill 3 to dodge him, and then when he like go to, if I found him like go to a great sword or something, I would move toward him, and once if he triggered the block, I wouldn't go near him of course, but if he didn't, I would go close to him, and sometimes even if he triggered a block, when I see the animation of the skill, I would dodge so he attacked to the other side. I would still be close, triggering most of my damage. If he tried to maul, I would probably dodge another time and use the CC of my bits, because he think I'm doing something stupid since I'm wasting my dodges and not only getting farther since he's a melee. But it's not if you're close enough and he doesn't have stability, so he's too close to your bits to ensure getting CC'd once he removes that block. So get creative in your fight, like know what you're doing, don't leave yourself open, like don't lose both of your stun breaks and have nothing. Don't try to avoid those mistakes, and don't lose your dodges and be completely out of nothing. Like your dodge is like a coin. When you spend one, you immediately start earning it again. So you kinda want one of them to be off to use the maximum value of it. And this is something to keep in mind, like to notice. You're a conditioned ranger, so try to flank your targets to move around them. That's higher damage for you. And probably, let's say lastly, but this build was equipped with a lot of things that would help you in even solo combat, like the existence of projectile barrier. Try to always touch this barrier to get the regeneration. It will help you a lot with Phalanx avatar. You can use this barrier also, since it's a combo field water, to trigger a blast like Ancestral Grace, or the skill 3 of Celestial Avatar, Lunar Impact, which a blast that would heal you for extra 1k 420 with the healing power that we have right now. Actually was 500, yeah, 500. That's how much it will heal you. So Ancestral Grace would heal you for 1k 700, another 1k 420 with the regeneration, if not removed or corrupted, 900. So you see the number. That's totally off. That's totally 4k if you got this, just this combo, just like that. It's when the regeneration ends, you got more than 4k hits. So keep those tricks in your mind while playing. Other thing is, when you use Celestial Avatar, try to, if you have time, use skill 2 first and then 3 in it. This will cleanse 2 condition, and the bless in it will cleanse extra 1. And now use natural conversion. You dazed your opponent, and using the Lunar Impact would daze 5 targets around you. Of course, if you're like a team fight or something, but let's say like 2 player, whatever, it will daze them both. And when you trigger natural conversion, the skill 5 of Celestial Avatar, you will trigger Ancient Seed on all of them at the same time. Since you hit a disabled target through daze, all of them at the same time, the cooldown start at the same time. So you can have Ancient Seed up to 5 targets without it going on cooldown. It will go after the trigger. Let's think how I feel about this build. I enjoyed it a lot. It's really good in 1v1. It's decent in kiting or getting out of fights. Not as great as a Thief or a Mirage or something. And the survivability is really decent, except especially against condition probably. And not so much against power, but the ability to kite and choose your battle makes it refreshing. It's not meta. I'm not sure how far it will take you. For me, I did 10, I finished my placement. I didn't do anything else, yet at least. and the 10 games wasn't all great. One of them, for example, was too easy. We wanted simple. One was too hard when I had teams that, let's say, kind of new. So like was weird losses. I almost carried the game through. I got top damage, healing, kills, and like most the thing, and still we lost horribly. And even I made a lot of mistakes in 2 games. One of them I used the Glyph of Equality, and this is why I'm telling you don't use it. I got put against a really good player, probably high ranked, with a lot of CC spam, and was Revenant and Tempest. It was extremely difficult, made it even worse for me against them. I fought them in 2 games. One of them was Glyph Equality, and one was the final build. Of course, the final build was much better. But the point is, I had difficult games. It was extremely hard to win sometimes because of my teams and because of my mistakes, I would say. I'm not as experienced in PvP, and I played it like I don't remember the face of the map, how it is. Since they changed Colosseum, for example, I didn't remember the new changes, where it starts, where it thing, where do we like jump on this, how the land is. So I made a lot of mistake, like moving with staff, stuff like this, and I ended up dying for it like 2 times and lost the game because it was too close. Like if I could only remember, it would have been different. Like I said, it's happened in PvP, it's a normal thing. So my point is, it could have gone better. If I was an experienced player, at least I would have done better. But I ended up with gold 3, like last gold 3, as you see here. I only did the placement, nothing else. Played 10 games, won only 6 of them, and ended up on the last of gold 3. If I did better, I would probably end up in plat. I mean, who knows? Much of you, at least the PvP player of you, would do probably much better than me and could use this build to its maximum potential. So I hope you like this video, and give the build a shot if you want, and tell me what do you think of it, especially if you tested it. I will be putting a single game to give you a feel of the build, like you see it in action. I wanted to choose the best game to represent the build, like to show it in action, and I ended up choosing the first game in my placement. Why? Because I ended up fighting a burn guard, which he was really decent, like keep triggering the burn when I cleanse it. Like I cleanse it, I get hit again, but I kept timing my cleanses too, like always try to be aggressive and defensive enough that I always have something. And I fought a necro even was able to almost face tank a leech form. Why? Because I have this skill, and the leech form use a projectile skills, so we can simply stand there and not get harmed. And this is also like the ranger tricks that I told you. You go through the leech and his skill doesn't attack you. You go through the leech again and he doesn't attack you, etc. So you will see this stuff or blaze a bit. And I hope it gave you the feeling of the build. So enjoy the match, and I'll be seeing you in the next video.
Turn it on. Turn it on.
wait to leave this town, 'cause lately I've been feeling down. The cold nights just don't feel the same. Oh, like my life inside a car, hit the button, drive real far, put that record on me like, oh, I'm dreaming of you, I dream of a new night. Fight in the dark till we see the sunlight. My love, it's you and I. Close, close and cool like this fire. So reach for the stars, 'cause we're aiming high. You can't wait to see me now, 'cause lately you've been feeling down. You lay awake alone at night. Oh, like your life inside a car. Forget the world and drive real far. Put that record on again. Oh, my love, it's you and I. Close, close and cool like this fire. So reach for the stars, 'cause we're aiming high. I'm dreaming of you, I dream of a new night. Fight in the dark till we see the sunlight. My love, it's you and I. Close, close and cool like this fire. So reach for the stars, 'cause we're aiming high. I can't wait to leave this town. Can't wait to leave this town, 'cause lately I've been feeling down. I can't wait to leave this town, 'cause lately I've been feeling down.
I see the light inside you, brighter than the skies. Hold on, just let us escape and fly away tonight. We have the world in our sight, and I know together we'll be alright. Can you see forever we will go? I'll go.